welcome back to my channel. Today is day 14, I believe. 14 days till I turn 25, possibly, maybe, who knows. These days we're just trying to get by, trying to get through the day. Anywho, as you saw, I just made these brownies. They smell really nice. Look how good they look. My brother says they're a bit too hot, but let's try it.
Hot as in like temperature, hot
They're like,
spicy?
my brother says hot as in like temperature, not spicy.
Yeah, they don't cool down first.
They taste good though. Is this becoming like a channel where I make food and I eat in front of you? Possibly. Imagine, imagine I eat these brownies for 8 minutes. Would you watch the whole 8 minutes?
That's been 10 minutes get added, but we're not there.
Probably not.
Can you talk about your new favorite?
I am recording. And I made me a cup of tea. These brownies are really good. I would definitely recommend you make them. I feel like I'm recommending a lot of things this week to you to check out. So today I actually want to chat to you guys about a news blog that I read from the Atlantic. And I got this from a newsletter that I follow from a South African named Talia Goldberg. She collects really nice, insightful articles. That's the word. Really insightful articles, and she curates it and puts it all together in a newsletter, and the newsletter goes out on a Sunday. And I've been following it since the beginning because I'm a huge fan of hers. Seriously curated is just a bunch of different things. So she usually gives you about 4 to 6 articles that you can check out, and then there's a small short film that you can also watch, as well as a wine recommendation if you're into wine, and then there's a local art section as well. And she just created her website where you can get everything: series, music, a playlist, wish list, books, documentaries, everything's on the website. But a couple of weeks ago she sent the newsletter. I received the newsletter, and usually I read through it, and maybe there'll be like 1 or 2 articles that I'm interested in. And that particular week I was interested in this article, and it was called, I just want to bring it up, 30 years ago, Romania deprived thousands of babies of human contact. And it was this really long article about just 30 years ago, Romania had a law where they would send newborn babies to a specific institution, and these babies got like no love, no human contact. They were basically just put in a room and given food. They weren't taught how to speak or how to walk or any of that. And just the progress of them growing up, and how some of the kids in the institution were able to get adopted, but how their life was so deeply impacted by their childhood, and how later on it was actually difficult for them to adapt, or difficult for them to assimilate into normal life, or assimilate into, community, and to be in a loving family, and to accept love, and just to accept that there's people who care for them. And it follows this particular man and his journey of being in the institute, and then being adopted, moving to America, having to adapt, or not really adapting to a new family, siblings, and then his just rebelling against and not understanding necessarily what they were portraying as love and so forth, because he had never received that. And then his whole journey of going back to Romania and meeting his family, and then just how his life has changed. And I really got to thinking about the whole idea of human contact, and the idea and the fact that, especially now during Corona, we are not, human contact is like the last thing that we're allowed to do. Unless you're with your family, in your house, you know, you're not really allowed to hug anymore, or even touch someone on the shoulder, or give a high five or a handshake. Like, none of that is allowed anymore. And I'm starting to wonder, like, just the mental effects on us during this time of not being able to have that human contact with one another, or to not have that bond, or even just that acknowledgement of each other. And how during this time, not just people my age, but like really small babies and toddlers and young children, but also teenagers, and then like grandparents who are not able to hug and comfort one another during this time. I was talking to my teenagers a couple of hours ago, and I said, we got so used to in our day-to-day lives the small bump of each other's shoulders in the hallways as we're going to our next class, or the sound of someone rummaging through their pencil case in class, or the bell ringing, or, you know, just knowing that during break time or during lunchtime that you can sit with your friends and have a fat chat and everyone's laughing. And that doesn't happen when you're working from home or having school at home. You kind of just stuck with yourself and your thoughts, and you're the only one rummaging through your bag trying to find a pen. And unless you live with people who are overly affectionate, or live with people who are extroverted, it's really difficult to get that human contact. Like my brother, for example, doesn't really like hugs, and I'm such a big hugger. So getting a hug from my brother is like, now it's like a really big deal, because not only is my brother wanting to hug me, but I haven't gotten a hug from anyone else in months. So it's like, oh my goodness, a hug. And it's just simple things that we really did take for granted. And so basically what I want you guys to do is, if you have time, read this article. It'll probably take you like 20-30 minutes to read. It's pretty long. Read the article. Let me know what you thought. It was very, very difficult for me to read, because I am someone who really wants to adopt one day. And adoption is not easy. It never is easy. But when I was reading this, I was just taken aback at the fact that it's actually really difficult. And what you think adoption is going to be, and what adoption could actually be. And just, I felt just so bad for the trauma and the things that those kids had to go through, and the fact that they never got to experience love or human touch or a hug, or, you know, a parent to cuddle them. It was really heartbreaking reading this article. So if you have time, please read the article. But I also want us to chat about, and I want to ask you guys, how's it been during this time not being able to get those hugs from your colleagues or your friends, or, you know, even getting hugs from siblings? Like, how does that make you feel? Do you miss it? Do you not miss it? And how does it feel not having that human interaction on a daily basis, because you're working from home, or because we are in isolation? So please let me know. That's just my thoughts for tonight. Friday nights is very busy for me. I have youth with my teens from church, and then usually after youth, between like 8:30 till midnight, my brain's like, brrr, it's like going crazy, thinking about what they said, thinking about what we talked about, thinking about like life and stuff. So I just wanted to open up my brain and just kind of ask you guys, how's it going? What are you up to? How's life? Even tonight I was asking my teens, like, how have you been sleeping? What time do you go to bed? What have your dreams been like? How are you drinking water? Are you exercising? Like, all these things we need to check up on one another, because we would have done that if we were seeing each other on a daily basis. How many times do we share our dreams with a friend when we see them, or while we're having coffee? We're like, I just had this crazy dream, and now we're having these crazy, intense, real dreams. And we don't really have anyone to share that with over coffee. We have to kind of make an appointment to tell a friend about it. And by the time we tell them, there's other bigger things. So yeah, let me know what's going on in your life, what's going on in your brain. I would love to hear it. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow for probably a more lighter video. But it was so nice to see you guys. I'm going to continue eating my brownie. I'm going to drink my tea. And it's going to be a good night. I'll probably be awake for hours. So I would love to read your comments and see where your head's at. But thanks for watching. Bye!